Hi, we're here with Darius and Kelli from Wells Fargo, so welcome. We're
Thank
at
you.
the Internet Reloaded Boston 2015. And yeah, so can you please introduce yourself, introduce your job, what you're doing at Wells Fargo?
Sure.
We've known each other at previous events, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elise. My name is Darius Miranda. I'm with Wells Fargo, based in San Francisco. I am a social business strategist with a background in content strategy and interaction design, so UX.
I'm Kelli Carlson, and I'm located in Minneapolis. Wells Fargo is located all over the United States, and I lead social engagement.
Okay. And so what project are you involved in? What are you currently doing and in the field of intranets?
So the field of internets, we're working on socializing the internet. So we have a social platform, but also trying to integrate that into our intranet. So whether you can tweet some of the news stories or you can actually comment on some of the posts on the homepage, those are the things that we're working on now.
Okay, great. So you've been with us since 2012 when we launched the event in Berlin.
Yes.
What do you think of the evolution? What do you think of the first event we do, the first internet in Boston?
I think it's pretty awesome. From the very first conference, we both love them. We love the format. We love the sense of community, how everyone is so engaged. What's really great to see here in Boston too, you think of business conferences or technology conferences, you think it's a male-dominated field, but it's so great to see so many women presenters and knowing that there are a lot of really talented women leading a space like the intranet. It's awesome.
Okay. So you were moderating an icebreaker table yesterday. Can you introduce us a little bit about the topic? What were you discussing with the community? What are the first impressions you could get out of that?
So the topic we discussed was how to socialize or get your employees active in social. And I think a lot of them are having challenges, just getting in the door and introducing social to their teams. And then some of them are similar to where we're at, which is, okay, now we're social, now what? Now how do you keep them going? How do you keep that engagement? So there was some really good lessons learned and topics and, idea sharing.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what my next question would be is, how did you implement social media at Wells Fargo? It's such a big company. It sounds like a great project.
It is. It's a great project. So Darius and I started probably back, I'd say about close to 10 years now ago on social. So it didn't happen overnight. We have over 300,000 team members, so that's what we call our employees. So it took time. I would say it took time, changing the culture, and then a lot of education. So we started out very, very small with some groups we knew and just kept evolving it. And now it's grown quite popular within the organization.
That's really great. And which challenges did you face while implementing all this social media?
Challenges we still face are, and I think Darius, you can speak to some of them too, with his user experience background too, is just how do you use social? There are people that have been at the bank for many, many years, so they understand how to apply these things for business. And then we have the younger generation where people say, well, they were born with a Facebook profile and whatever, they know how to use it, but they don't know how to use it for business.
Right.
So overall, it's an education and keep training them on the application, not necessarily click here, do that, but it's, okay, I'm going to sell something. How do you share information online if you're doing a sales job?
And something we heard last night during the icebreakers, a lot of companies still look at social as being something very separate. So you go to a separate site for social. I think one of the biggest challenges for all of us is how do you integrate it into a current process and how do you measure it? So that was a big topic of conversation last night. What are your measurements and how do you know if it's working? Yeah.
That was actually my next question. How do you integrate social media into a social business collaboration platform?
Yeah, so I think with the intranet, obviously the little things like linking back, or what Darius does a great job. He used to activate some of our senior leadership on blogs and talking like you're having a conversation instead of just a one-way push of communication. So it's been a real change for our communications team and marketing team to learn how to write differently so that they'll interact. So there's these simple things, they're not so technical, that are really helping to combine those two, social and communications.
And I think too, it's you can't have a good social program without community managers.
Right.
So you can have all these subject matter experts, but they might not be the most social savvy. So the thing to do is understand, identify the best community managers and bring them on board and give them access to all of your subject matter experts and to your executives too.
Yeah.
It'll lend that voice down, the executive voice down as well.
Yeah, and we always akin it to a cocktail party, right? So if you invite a bunch of people to a cocktail party and you're the host, that's what a community manager is, right? You don't want someone in the corner talking or not talking and just lonely. You want to bring everybody together, mingle, and have some good topics to share. And probably some good food, but we don't share food on the internet.
We don't even talk about it.
No.
What did you have for breakfast? That's not part of our intranet.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all about selling it within the company and
right.
all about getting people to engage
Correct.
with your platform. All right, so the next question would be, what are the challenges in terms of user adoption when integrating social media?
Yeah, so I think the biggest challenges that we've had is, we're a regulated industry, so we have a lot of people we can't allow on the system yet because they hold a certain license that, we just can't have them on there. So that's a challenge, and they want to participate, they want to do this knowledge share, so we're still working through that, and we're not alone. Deutsche Bank has that same problem, every bank and insurance groups do, so that's been a big challenge for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talking about the future now, we've been talking about what happens at Wells Fargo, but what maybe Darius on that?
Yeah.
What do you think the next trends are going to be in terms of internet? What should we be talking about?
Yeah. I think it's weird. You look at before, you had the best technology at work, and at home you didn't have all those tools, and it kind of flipped several years ago where now we have better technology at home than we do at the office. I think if we're going to keep up with trends, we got to look to see what is popular today with the younger generation, with the millennial generation. What are people doing in their normal daily lives? It's normal behavior now. I think the future of intranet could be video. It could be live streaming video. So we've got new players like Meerkat and Periscope, where you can stream live video so easily. And Ustream's been doing it for years, but as we start seeing more people work from home or working in different countries, that live streaming video could really bring people together and get that real-time experience and have more people experience it.
Yeah, I saw you talked about on Twitter that you wanted to do that with the icebreaker. So that's something that you do already internally? Use
We
Periscope?
don't do that. We don't do that. I like to FaceTime with some of my partners in Charlotte. I think it's great, to be able to see their face. Is we really are we're friends with a lot of people at work. So the more you get to see them, it's great.
Better.
Yeah, but what Twitter did with Periscope is they made it so easy. You can live stream video right on your Twitter feed. So it's that integration of technology with where people are going. So I think it's a matter of finding that technology and integrating it with where people are going naturally and what they're doing naturally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what would be the challenges that we'll have to face in the next 5 years, let's say, in terms of intranets?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
That's a hard
It's
one.
a hard one.
Yeah.
No, I think obviously, it's still the regulatory things and integrating. But I think it's also, we're going to get more and more people on there. And Darius and I were just talking about this. We have a large percentage of our company that's going to retire soon. So one of the challenges that we're looking at right now is how do we open up that intranet or that share of knowledge to people who have left the company? Because they still have a vested interest. They still have a lot of information we could all use. They just don't work anymore. They've been with the company 30, 40 years. So that's a big challenge that we need to solve, I think.
Yeah, that's what Susan was talking about
Absolutely.
earlier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
quite interesting.
Yeah, and if 15% of your workforce is ready to retire, how do you get all that institutional knowledge in their heads into some sort of digital format?
Right.
So that's going to be a big challenge too, especially the passing the information from generations down. So you have the workforce of older, the Gen Xers and the baby boomers, and then passing that down to the millennial generation in a way that's going to make sense for them, and in the tools that they want to use. I think that's going to be a big challenge.
And it's a simple thing too. One of our biggest communities on our social intranet is about customer experience. And there's simple things that these people know, like sending thank you cards, like real thank you cards to your customers. And our new team members are like, oh, I didn't know about that. I didn't know we could do that. It's really simple. But it's a great tool to help
Yeah.
deepen relationships.
We think about technology now. We don't think about
Yeah.
probably this.
Yeah.
I love getting a physical card. I think it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because it's unusual now. So
It is. It is.
It makes
It's
it better.
authentic.
Yeah.
Which benefits did you expect to gain from this event, from the Internet Reloaded Boston?
Well, we wanted to just see all you guys again, of
Yeah.
course. So that's a big benefit.
And the ponies.
And the ponies. We have to share our ponies. We brought the dog too, Jack.
Yes.
So the dog
Let's
and
not-
pony show.
let's not
now.
forget him.
No, he doesn't want to be forgotten. No, but it's great to see such a well-organized, from an information perspective, as well as, just all the logistics, this sort of event come to the United States. We lack that. Most events are really big. And they're hard to get that intimate knowledge and walk away and go back to your company and say, hey, I actually learned something, or I met somebody who had a good story. So this is great that you're bringing it here.
That's really good.
And I think it's great too. You have a conference all about collaboration, and it's not about talking about collaboration. We actually collaborate.
Right.
So I think that's awesome. And I think too, it just expands the intranet reloaded community when it was primarily, we just know it as the Berlin experience, right? But it's nice to know that it's going to expand into the United States, so that community of experts is going to continue to grow. I think that's going to help a lot. Yeah.
And one last question I wanted to ask: who inspires you in your day job?
And the day
That's a
job.
Uh-huh.
hard one.
It is a hard one.
Yeah.
It could be books, it could be a website, it could be a person that actually inspires you in your everyday work
I've
life.
got one. I'm not a big science fiction person, but my favorite writer is Kurt Vonnegut. I think Kurt Vonnegut does such a great job of talking about the human experience and technology and the trends that we go through in such a different way. I think his books are really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the events.
Thank you.
Thank you.